G'day all, it's Colin from PCTLC and thanks for joining me. In this video we're going to be having a look at Free File Sync, a little application for backing up data. Now I'm going to look at this in EzeeLinux 19 Beta 2 in Virtualbox. So that's what we're doing. So if we have a look on the website of Free File Sync, and you can download that from here, and it's available for Windows, Mac and Linux, and also from source. Let's just avoid that one. You can download that, no problem, and I've done that already. Is it in my downloads or have I moved it? I've moved it. So what I've done is I've gone to my home folder and I've created a folder called .freefilesync. Then I extracted that here, which is this folder here, and in here you've got Free File Sync. So as you can see, just clicking on that runs that application. So what we're going to do is, first of all, let's make a menu entry for that. So MX menu editor, we'll add custom application, we'll call it Free File Sync. We'll call it a data backup utility. Look for the command Free File Sync. Let's see, it won't be the .desktop, I don't believe. It's probably this one here, I hope. It's one of those. I think it's that one. So let's open that. Set the icon, which there should be one in there as well, under Resources, Free File Sync. Add a category. So make sure you add a category that's here. We'll go for System. OK, and save changes. Close that. Open up our menu and look for Free File Sync. Enter that, and there we go. So Free File Sync is up and running. So that's the first part done. Now, just to explain a couple of things here, what I've done is let's just get rid of those hidden files. Control H. Now in my documents, I've got some documents there that I've put in here, and in downloads, same deal. Thought I'd put quite a few just to give a good example. Pictures, all my wallpapers, and my videos. It's a video of a storm I think we had one night. Let's check that out. Oh yeah, we had almost snow in Perth. That was quite an interesting day. What's this one here? Let's have a quick look. Oh, yeah. That was a real bad stormy day that day. So anyway, back on track. So what we're going to do is, I've got all those files there. Now in here in this Virtualbox, I've made a separate data partition here. And I've created some folders called Documents, Downloads, Music, and as you can see, they are all empty under this one here, 64 gigabyte volume. So they're all empty. So what we're going to do is run our Free File Sync. Now what we're going to do is click the plus button to add a folder pair. So we're going to do that. Sorry. No, that was wrong. Let's click the minus button there. We're going to browse. I'm going to browse to Colin, and let's get rid of Show Hidden Files. Well, first of all, we'll go to the top of the list, Documents, and open that. And then what we'll do on the target partition is we'll browse to Documents, which is the 64 gig volume. Double click that, Documents, and open that. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a two-way sync. We'll actually Should I do a two-way sync or a mirror? I probably would do a mirror on that one, but first of all, let's continue to add these. So we'll browse for the next one on the list, which is downloads. Open that. And in this one here, you've got to make sure that you correspond them. It's not hard to do. Downloads and downloads. Just make sure you don't double click the wrong folder. So make sure they both say downloads. Well, actually, I think I checked the wrong one there, didn't I? Downloads, open. So you can see that's got the UUID of the partition there. And that's the home folder. So media and home. So just make sure you get that right. Add another one. Browse. Music. Open that. Browse to the 64 gig. Music. Open. And we just continue this cycle. Pictures. Browse to 64 gig pictures. And one more. Browse that. Videos, open that. Sorry, wrong one. Colon videos, open that. And browse to here. 64 gig videos, open that. So now what you can see is the ones on the left are going to be synced from my home folder to the media partition folder or partition. Now what we can do here is we can check whether it's two-way or a mirror. Because that's a partition and it's acting as a backup, I'll probably go for the mirror in this case. And then we can click the Synchronize button, and just to double check that again, in the 64 gig there's nothing now, as you can see. So we'll hit the Synchronize button and it shows you what it's going to do. It's going to the right hand side and it's going to mirror all of this. Now you can exclude things from this side here if you wish. Let's just cancel that for a minute. We can exclude things from here if we wish. You can exclude via filter and so forth, so we won't do that. But you can if you wish. But I want to do the whole lot, so we'll do a synchronize and start. We have completed that successfully, so let's close that and have a look at our files and go to the 64 gig volume, and that should be reflecting exactly what's on my system home folder, which it is, and it's exactly the same as what's in here because it's been mirrored. Now the interesting thing, now what you can do here is, instead of repeating this whole process here, we can actually save as, and we'll call it home folder backup. So that's what we'll save that as, save that. So then every time, whenever you come in here, if we close Free File Sync and we open that up again, we can start a new session, or we can go back to our saved one. And let's just say, for example, we go to our home folder. And let's go to Documents, and I've got a budget here that I made many years ago that I used to follow. Make sure that life is traveling in the right direction. Now I've written the word update in there, so let's delete that and let's save that. And now what we'll do is we'll open Free File Sync and we'll do a comparison. So let's click the compare button. As you can see, it's telling you here we need to update the one on the right, which is going to the media, because it's recognized that the one in my home folder had a change made. So if we right click on this and open with default application, on the right we can see that that's got update still in it. And on the left, which is my home folder, open with default application, we can see that the update is missing. So what we do now is we synchronize and we start, and that's done very, very quickly because everything else is the same except for that particular document has been changed. So if we now go to my 64 gig partition and documents and open the blank budget, you'll see the word update has disappeared. So it's actually updated whatever's in the home folder. So that's pretty cool. I want to look at it from a different perspective. If I go to my Virtualbox and go to devices and add a USB, and I'll add my ADATA USB, failed to attach. I don't know what's going on there. So maybe I need to shut down my virtual machine and check why that's not attaching. We'll do that first. Okay, so I've connected the USB. I don't know what, I thought you could do that while it was running, but maybe not. So the USB is there. So I've got the USB passing through. So now what I want to do on the USB is make a folder called Free File Sync. Oops, back up. And then under there, we'll create our folders. All right, now there's a really good reason why I'm doing that, and I will explain it. So what we're going to do is run free file sync again. Going to start a new session. We're going to go to home folder, documents, and browse to here, and we're going to go to ADATA, free file sync backup, documents. And then we're going to continue that process again like before. Okay, so what I've done is I've attached and I've synced my home folders to the folders in the ADATA USB drive. With this one here, what we're going to do is do a two-way synchronize. Now, the difference with that is the USB stick is the target at this point in time. So what we've done is we've made it a target from our home folders to the USB stick. And what I've done is I've got MX-Linux 19 Beta 2 running also on another computer. It's installed. I'm going to use the USB stick as a target, and then once I move it to another computer, it then becomes the source, because then it will be moving from the USB onto the computer rather than from the computer to the USB. So that's what we're going to do here. So what I'm going to do is synchronize this to the USB. So away we go. Well, actually, no, we just need to synchronize. We're not comparing because we haven't changed anything. So let's synchronize that. And as you can see, everything here will be sort of like, yep, moving over to there. So, yeah, once that's up there, you can't, actually, if you want to make any changes, then you're best to hit the compare button first, and then you can make any changes. Otherwise, you got to cancel this. So that's the only thing. That's the advantage of compare. So if you hit the compare button, you can say, I don't want to sync this, don't want to sync that, blah, 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 whatever. But in this case, I'm going to sync the whole lot. You get to this window and then you can click Start. So we have successfully copied that to my A data. So what we can do there is save as, and we'll call that USB A data backup, just in case you use a different backups target, because you might want to use a different USB for a different computer or something like that, and you can copy just certain things. So it's very flexible in what you can do here. So that's that one there. You can see media A data. If I was to do this one and I want to mirror back to my partition, because I want to sync what's on my system or my home folder on the system, we can just select that, or back to the A data disk, or we can start a new session. So it's very, very flexible in what you can do, and it will remember everything. So as you can see in my home folder, it's kept a couple of backups there, remembering what it was copying over. So that is that with the A data USB. I'm going to disconnect the USB from this Virtualbox, shut down the Virtualbox. I'm going to go over to my desktop. So let's check that out. So here we are on the EzeeLinux 19 Beta 2 desktop, and no longer Virtualbox. We're on real hardware. Now I need to install Free File Sync. Now I don't think I've got it on here. Actually, I never thought of that. I may have to download that. So I'm going to do the same thing as I did in the Virtualbox, and that will be to create a folder in my home folder called Control H to show hidden files. Create folder called .free file sync. Go to my downloads, cut that into there, paste it and extract here. So we'll need to go to our menu, which is what we did on the other one. Add custom application, call it Free File Sync, data backup utility, select that, right click and show hidden, Free File Sync, this one here, and the icon. Put in a category, and we'll leave it as system like we did in the Virtualbox. OK, and save changes. So now we should have a Free File Sync in the menu. If I can spell it right, start that up, and that looks good. So things aren't looking 100% in this theme, I must say. May have to make some changes to that because it's not looking overly good. Dark. Try Quagga Win. And that looks much better. So what we're going to do here is we are going to do what we did before, except this time we'll be going from the source target. The source, which is, it's no longer a target, it's become the source, my A data, Free File Sync and documents. Open that and browse to my documents in here, hide the hidden files, documents, and open, and then we'll continue that process. Now, the only thing I'm concerned about is I do have some stuff in my pictures currently because I made, if you have a look at my menu, I made this orb from the desktop background. This one here. Thought I'd make a little MX startup orb there. So I'm pretty proud of that one. I hope that it doesn't get rid of that. So I'm going to have to do a compare first to see what's going on. So let's compare that and see what it does. So MX globes, yep. So what that's going to do is it's going to move these over to my system, and it's going to move what's on my system over to the A data. So it's recognized that it's not on the A data, but it's on the system. So that's pretty cool. So I like the way this thing works. So now I'm happy with the comparison there. It all looks good. Yep, it's gone into, it's opened everything, so it should be all good anyway. Don't think there's anything that we should be concerned about there. And it's doing, what's that one there? MX globes, so they're my pictures and stuff. Moving over to there as well. So what folder is that? EzeeLinux, so that must be in somewhere there as well. Must be downloads. Documents, EzeeLinux beta 2, so that's what's in there. Okay, so that's all looking good. So let's hit Synchronize and see how we go. Now this is running under USB 2, so it's probably going to be a little bit slow. So I'll be back when it's done. So let's click the start button and see how we go. So it's come up with a warning. The following folders are significantly different. Please check that the correct folders are selected for synchronization. So let's cancel that and see what it's talking about. Copy new item to the right. Okay, does that mean it's going to probably change? So maybe we don't need to copy to the right, we just want to copy everything to the left. So maybe that's what's going on there. So let's uncheck all those ones moving over. Maybe that's what it's talking about. We could have ignored that and continued, and it probably would have copied these over, but whether it would be left on the system, I don't know. So let's just copy all those over to the system. Let's synchronize and start. So we have successfully completed that there. So let's just check out what's on the system here and make sure that it's copied over all right. And what I am interested in is my pictures. So it's copied wallpaper all, and it's left everything original in there. And the EzeeLinux is there as well. So that's pretty good. So that's worked really well. So as you can see, the target ends up being the source, and the source copies back over to a different computer. So I wonder now what we can do is, I think what we'll do is we'll save as, and it's probably best it's in the home folder, not in any folder there. So we save as a data backup, because that's the USB I'm using in this situation. So let's just close that, and let's go to documents and let's make a change. I've got this test one here. I updated this. Well, I'm going to put down I updated this again and save that. And maybe we'll go to the blank document and put updated like so, and save that. Now let's run this again and see what happens. Now let's compare that. So now what we're going to do is whatever's on there, MX globes and so forth, we will copy back over. Now you can see here that now what it's doing is updated this one and updated that one. So we can check this one, open with default application. That's got no updated on it. And if we open this with the default application, that hasn't either. So, but you'll check these ones and these will have the change. You can see the change there, and you can see the change probably on this one as well, updated. So we shall synchronize that because they're the only changes it's going to make, because it recognizes that everything we copied over is still there. So it's having a look at what's been synced, and it doesn't need to copy back anything but what wasn't there, which is my MX globes and a few other things under this EzeeLinux 19 folder and so forth, and also the change documents. So let's synchronize that and see how we go. Now if we have a look in my A data, let's go to A data and free file sync backup and my pictures, you'll see that there's only the wallpaper all. There's no MX globes in there. So in the documents, and this is in the A data as you can see, blank document should have nothing there, and the test one will have only updated in A data. Let's check that again. I don't know what happened there. And open that and you can see updated. I updated this. Why does that keep disappearing? It doesn't have the extra there. So let's now sync that, synchronize and start. And actually for USB 2 it copied over pretty quick. So I don't know whether it's USB 2 or 3, I'm not sure, but it's got the black inside the USB. So normally USB 3 is blue, so I'm not sure. It's pretty quick anyway. So we have been successful in copying that. So let's close that and let's check out the A data here, free file sync backup, and go to pictures, and now you can see my globes are there with the wallpaper. So it's recognized that they weren't there, it's copied that over. And if we go to documents, go to the blank document, that should have updated in there, it has. And also in test, I updated this again. As you can see, that's all been synchronized. Now the difference between that's a difference between the two-way. Now I can keep everything synchronized on the desktop, and if that Virtualbox was a different computer like a laptop or another desktop, or you know, I went from home to school, if I was at school and I used a computer at school and it was sort of like mine and I could sync everything, that would be pretty handy. So that's how the two-way works, which is a little bit different to the mirror, which is just like a personal backup, and you just want to make sure that every change you make, all you have to do is click compare, click on the synchronize and mirror all the changes, and that's your personal backup done. So that is free file sync. Handy little program I can see. Now I wouldn't mind using this, but I do use a lot of different, what can you say, internal hard drives on an external caddy. So I'm backing up different parts of my system all the time, not just the home folder and this and that. So I'm going to have to name those hard drives when I put them in the caddy, and then I can just, like I did here, just save a particular session that goes with that particular caddy. I'll put a name on that hard drive and have all my different hard drives, and then I take one out, put one in, and possibly just click on whichever one I want to back up and sync it, and I'll be done. And that way I know everything's been updated. So that's the way I might do it. And that would have to be, don't know if it's a mirror or a two-way. It's probably could be used as a two-way. You could probably just mirror that, and then you could probably two-way sync it later on. So that was free file sync. If you have any questions on that, maybe we can come back and revisit it. But as you can see, it's very flexible. You can make up your own choices on how you want to back up your data. You can save it here. So the only thing is I would suggest to keep everything clean is you probably might want to make up your own folder here called free file sync instead of having it open in your home folder. That's just up to you. It's just a personal choice really. You can just leave this sitting here, but you don't want it getting accidentally deleted. So it's better if it might even be better off if it's kept in a hidden folder, so it can't be accidentally deleted, because then you got to redo all this here. So that was free file sync. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you found it interesting and informative, and thanks for watching.